Welcome to another episode of Prophecy Walkers. This one is the flip reverse of the first one, where I turned up with toxic behavior and I didn't want to be on camera. Now, the feminine is now given voice, where Hazel's frustrations now need to be heard. So the reason we're showing this is we're showing the even keel and balance because we'll be talking about the equinox and we're talking about the process of letting go, the masculine turning up, and how the feminine feels frustration about always having to take responsibility and hold the light for the man when the man isn't turning up. So over to you, Hazel.
Hmm. Yeah. Hello. I've we were setting up the camera again to make a new video for the equinox, and I trapped my finger under the chair, and there's an enormous amount of pain that came through that, and I shouted out, and through that release of my shouting, I could feel the release of a lot of pent-up frustration, let's say. And having just taken a few moments to feel into it and to go beyond the wanting to blame anyone about it, if I take it into the collective field, and like we said in the last videos, we work across all three lines of consciousness. I'm really tired. As a woman, I'm really tired of showing up, continually showing up, and not being taken seriously. I'm really tired of showing up with the leader energy and others not showing up and wanting me to play a small game so that I can match their game of smallness. And I find that really frustrating because it's not allowing my evolution. It's not allowing me to deliver my gifts. It's not allowing me to I want to say in a very channeled way, be the forerunner of this evolutionary game of life in a way. And it's very easy, I know, because I've sat in so many circles where it can be reflected back at me and say, well, why aren't you standing up? Why aren't you being the big one? Why aren't you being evolutionary for yourself? And I will say at this moment in time, I've done enough. I've done enough.
Hmm.
There comes a point when you've done so much work on yourself, you've gone so deep and so low and so many sacrifices that you have to start turning your ship around and reorientating back into life. And you reorientate back into life with a medicine pouch full of things that people will just not understand. Like, let's sit here and I will be a clear vessel for you, but I will not take the shit and take it on as my shit that I have to process and believe that is mine. And I think that's one of the things of being an empath, for want of better words, being a woman who feels and senses everything. So I'm tired of, I'm tired sometimes, and there's hurting of my finger after I've made a lot of effort today to show up and get the ball rolling, you know, is to receive pain, physical pain. And I'm like, that's enough. So that's what I have to say. And this is playing the big game.
Yeah. So I'm going to speak into this. I have a big role to play in all of this. But, oh, sorry, and what I understand is what I said in the previous video about how you just mentioned essentially that you want to be seen. And my video was, I want to be heard, right? Because I've damaged my reputation in your eyes. Because if we look at the difference between this video and our previous video, the previous video was very masculine, it was very high. And now we're talking about the grounded stuff. Right? And I lost my train of thought. Come back. This gosh, what was I saying? I'm talking about being heard and being seen, right? So the masculine is wanting to be heard and you're wanting to be seen.
And I suppose I'm wanting to be seen for making the physical manifestational efforts of, I don't know, just really simple things like putting the lighting there, putting the camera, the like showing up and saying, hey, we're doing this video. And and it being easy, going, yeah, let's do this, and that's as far as I can get with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back the thought I had that explains this, because we're working on the three lines of consciousness, and what I was trying to say is that I was working on the collective consciousness, but you're working on the one, right? And so I'm trying to meet you halfway in the two, in the heart, so that I can understand your grief and your pain. And I'm the closest one to you and probably the only one who knows the full extent of what you've been through, and vice versa. But even then, we still, inside ourselves, we are the only ones who feel that pain. And it's very difficult for me to know that some days I don't turn up and that you'll turn up every day. And that exposes sometimes jealousy in me, because I'm like, what is she doing that I can't do? And this shows in the collective of toxic masculinity. And just when I thought I've done it, and just when I thought I've turned up and I'm happy, something throws me off, because I haven't been through the initiations of stabilizing my emotions and turning up in life. And so when I'm put together with someone who's not only more spiritually advanced than me in some stages of our evolution, but you're also older than me as well, and your trauma happened at a later age. So in many ways, I'm playing catch up, which is exactly what's happened to the collective masculine. You know, even biologically and scientifically, they know that women, the left and right brain synapses connect a year before boys do. So you're already more spiritually evolved, and then you're more in your heart, which makes you even more spiritually involved. And this is why men uh, are so attracted to controlling women and controlling power and manipulating because of that fear of feeling lesser than, that jealousy, that
Mm.
not feeling good enough for you. And I've been trying to find a way to help myself understand first why I can't turn up sometimes and to help you understand. And it's really difficult to tell you how, like I did the other day when we were out there, when we were doing masculine versus masculine, is how there's so much disconnection for the masculine from the feminine. And it makes it so difficult for us, for me, to remember, know, feel, even be aware if I'm connected to my heart or I'm not, or if I'm always connected to my heart and I just don't feel it. And it's this feeling of numbness, not feeling worthy in the eyes of the feminine, that um, makes a man feel like he's not worthy enough to grow up, to be big enough to stand hand to hand with the feminine. And it's difficult because as a man, and I'm talking collectively, I find that easier to relate. Collectively, we've treated the feminine, and Gaia as is the feminine. We've polluted the waters, right? We've burned the forests. We've even tried to control the weather, and we've blown up the soil and the rocks. We've taken everything from you. And it's such a lot. It's such a lot to know that I am responsible for that as a man, and how that collectively comes in every direction into your vessel as a woman. And you turn up every day to be a woman in your power, in your sexuality, in your expression, in your creative expression. And every time you step out that door as a woman, you don't know how you're going to be treated by men because they don't see you. They only see an object most of the time. And for me, someone who's gone through the journey of releasing toxicities and understanding all of this huge energy of the backwards and forwards, the war between men and men and man and woman, it's really difficult to try and understand all the different avenues that I can try in order to grow up and be a man. Because the way we behave as a collective is we're a bunch of whinging children. That when we don't get our own way, we throw our toys out the pram. And how does a man who has never been taught how to grow up?
And keep with his heart open.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, this is what's happening.
Yeah, and this is the unknown.
Mm.
And when a man sits in the unknown because he spent so long in control, patriarchy, he feels completely clueless, lackluster, and completely unaware of where he is, where he's going. And he knows he needs to take responsibility, but he also knows he needs help. But how much help can he get before he does it?
Mm.
But how does he know if he's living in the unknown?
Mm. And I think that's part of my frustration. It's like, this enough now. And I think, it just triggers that part in me where I've given so much.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared to give anymore, not in something so simple as sitting around a table and showing up.
Yeah. What comes up is the void,
Mm.
because you wanted to talk about the spring equinox
Yeah.
and how in August, every August, people go through the feelings of separation. I've witnessed this year and every year. My friends, they split up with their girlfriends. And I've been feeling this strong separation energy within me, and it's still here.
Mm.
It's this void energy
Mm.
from the southern hemisphere, but in the exposure of the light in the northern hemisphere. And what was it, 80% of the population lives in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
So
So it's a larger impact.
yeah, and the energy of separation collectively is so enormous on the masculine, and I've said this, is that because the masculine has foreign DNA, he is easily more manipulated into sabotaging himself and the feminine. So in some ways, the feminine is stronger because of that reason, because you have unadulterated DNA to a certain degree. So it's very difficult for me to sit inside myself and going, oh my God, what are you doing? But not being at the controls
Mm. Mm.
because I have released control.
Mm.
So where comes the purity of control if you've been told to release control?
Mm.
Am I in control or is my ego in control?
Mm. And that's where sinking into the heart, slowing down and listening from not an ear perspective, but from the vibrational heart perspective is important.
Yeah, exactly. Vibration.
Mm.
How do you teach a man to feel his heart
Wow.
when he's forgotten he even has one?
Mm. Yeah. Well, maybe this is one of the collective energies that's coming in through the breaking, through the releasing, through the autumn equinox. There's another wave of opportunity to connect more deeply to heart consciousness, intuitive heart consciousness, soul consciousness. And I suppose my frustration at this time on a collective level is, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Can't you see it yet? Can't you feel it yet? Can't you hear it yet? Like, woohoo! Can we get on with the job now? There's a huge job of restoration needed through the destruction. And I suppose that's where I'm at. And I suppose that's what manifested in my frustration that came through. It's like, well, I'm holding the fort, I'm leading the way, like with the first video. It's like, okay, we are going to do this no matter what. And actually, there's part of me which is deeply tired of that. And I suppose this is part of the rising masculine energy and taking responsibility in the true masculine rising is rising, but not taking control, rising in power, rising with that masculine heart from the deep and saying, yeah, we're doing this and we're doing this together, you know. And yeah, you're showing up in incredible ways. It's just today somehow that triggered me, and it gives a perfect opportunity to expose and share how we work together and to share this together with you. I mean, if ever you want a true Big Brother television, of really how truly authentic people live, I suppose that's kind of what we're doing in these videos in a way. So yeah, that's my frustration as a woman. It's like, come on, come on. Yeah. Yeah. So where do we go with that? Well,
Well, we can talk about the energies of separation, how they show themselves externally and internally. And I would like to talk into the woman's menstrual cycle and how that affects men very deeply. And that's a long journey that we've had to go through. And the best analogy for that is a tree. Every autumn, a tree goes through the seasons just like a woman. And a woman has a menstrual cycle of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So birth all the way through to death, every moon cycle. And a tree does this over a period of a year. And the most difficult part in a relationship is the autumn period, because that's when the tree lets go of its leaves. And this is shows itself energetically and physically in the woman. It's when she energetically starts to let go, she starts to bleed. Now, to an unconscious man who's not aware of this is really a volatile and painful energy. And this has shown for me where I have abandoned my creations, my day, my life, my heart, because the feminine gives off the energy of let go.
and retracting the life force energy.
That's right, yeah, so that the masculine
Simply.
can't feed off the feminine
Yeah.
energy. And this is like the masculine feeding on the mother's teat. It's like it's time to grow up. And this energy of letting go is misunderstood by the body of the masculine, and we abandon ourselves. And this is the whole energy of not turning up, right? And this energy started coming in August, and this is why it's been so volatile this month of August, because men are abandoning themselves, they're abandoning their integrity, they're abandoning any and all of their senses in a lot of cases. But there are a lot of strong men out there like myself holding the light as best as they can. But we can't do it on our own. And that's how it feels at the moment. And so when I see you upset and like you've had enough with me, I'm like, what else can I do to keep up with you? And the message I keep getting from myself, from my soul, and from spirit, and from you is to slow down, right? And this is something the masculine is one of his greatest wounds of speed. Like men love fast cars and fast women, apparently. And computer games are fast, the mind is fast, but the body is slow, and the consciousness of the body is the whole, it is the heart, it is the DNA. And the heart is the master, and the mind is only a humble servant. But society and psychology, the internet, all of that stuff gives so much power to the brain and the mind, thinking that all the answers are in the mind. They're not. They're in the consciousness of Christ consciousness, which is love. And that is the whole. So, how do I slow down my inner system so that I can slow down on the outside enough to feel that I'm here,
Mm.
that I'm not constantly moving and dodging
Yeah.
love?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's not one answer. There's many different answers. And if I look at the example of today, of having to make a breakthrough, because let's say your mind was going very fast and taking over before we started recording, giving all sorts of reasons why you couldn't show up or whatever. And this is where coming into service can be very powerful. And it's slowing down enough to say, I'm going to take this beyond what my ego wants right now, because my ego wants to run and hide. My ego wants to not know the truth of my soul, but my ego wants to know everything, and I don't feel safe where we're going. And it's that blind step into I I can feel the vibration of my ego working through me that doesn't want me to show up, that wants me to sabotage, that wants me to throw my toys out of the pram, that wants me to say I'm not ready, whatever, and to take that step anyway. And that in itself is a letting go. That in itself is a very profound letting go of the past, shedding of the old way. And you're doing amazingly at that. And I'm tired. you know, and I'm also I'm tired. And I suppose that's the autumn energy that's just coming through me at times right now.
But that doesn't resolve this.
No, but is it an acceptance of the cycles?
No,
Okay, tell
no,
me then.
no. Well, I'm trying to figure it out
Mm.
live with you, you know.
Mm.
You just asked me essentially, is it okay to accept the energy of separation? No, no, not between two hearts.
Mm.
No, because that's not what letting go is. Letting go is recharging.
Letting go is letting go of the ego that wants to
Yeah,
create
but I'm
separation.
thinking like a tree. I'm
Mm.
thinking like a tree. It lets go of its leaves because they're done. And then it comes within to recharge. And
Mm.
it brings up more nutrients for the
Mm.
next cycle. It goes within.
Mm.
But letting go, we said we were going to talk into that, and that is the other point of view of it. Yeah. Letting go is letting go of the ego, letting go of that which no longer serves, right? But as we were talking about this earlier, when you get to this level of consciousness, it all becomes about feeling and not about thinking.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
So I'll sit here and you can ask me questions and I will feel the answer. But I need time because I'm not as fast at this as you. You can do this like that. I need time.
Mm. So what is needed for you to let go on the next level so you can come to life and show up fully for the greatness that you are?
Gosh, that's a really good question. I think I need to know I'm loved. That's one way of putting it. The other way is I need to turn up for myself. What's coming up is there are parts of my journey which are so painful externally that it's stopping me from growing up. And I keep banging my head on the same wall. And I'm not sure how to get through it. And so I've been taking your example of just waiting until the time is right and continuing with other projects. And it just so happens, this project that we're aware of is to do with sound, being heard. So why do these two wounds of the feminine and the masculine keep coming up all of a sudden?
Mm.
Of the masculine wanting to be heard, saying, "Hey, look, we're here, we're doing a really good job," and the feminine saying, "Hey, I'm here. Why aren't you seeing me?"
Mm. Mm.
So to help open this energy a bit more, I'm going to acknowledge you into that wound. I've seen you grow from somebody who is and was so innocent that she was perceived to be weak and naive. It turned you into a hermit. You became agoraphobic. You became terrified of life. And when I turned up on your door, I kept knocking on your door saying, "Can we do some more of what we did yesterday?" And you're like, who are you? Who is this man? And I'm like, "Is that a yes?" And you're like, "Okay, come in, but I don't trust you. But come in, I don't trust you. But come in, I don't trust you." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool that you don't trust me. I'm slightly offended by that because I'm a really nice guy." So I slowly played my long game of being myself so that you would feel safe. Because by being myself, you would know how gentle I am. And this goes unseen and is neglected by not just the feminine, but the masculine. It's the energy of the lion. The lion is seen, but he is not heard. Does anybody know why a lion is called a king? It's because of the size of his love. It knows no boundaries. He has no boundaries. He is king because of his devotion to love, to never giving up, to never giving up on his pride, the true purity of what pride means. To be proud of being a man who stands for love, who fights for the feminine, with his brothers by his side. And I have seen you slowly grow and bloom and go in and out like a flower, in and out, like a flower, scared to come out, scared to go in, scared to come out, scared to go in. And I was there for you going, it doesn't matter if you're scared. We're fucking doing it. We are doing it.
Mm.
And when it was really scary, I was having fun.
Mm.
And when it got really loving, you were having really lots of fun. So we had to meet and find love from the energy of creation and the energy of destruction.
Mm.
The dark masculine, the light masculine, the dark masculine, the light feminine,
And the other way
the
around.
light masculine, and the dark feminine
Mm.
coming together to create something new.
Mm.
And I always try my best to listen to you, even though it was really difficult because you speak in what sometimes sounds like riddles. You're like the enigma. I like to call you the enigma of love because I find as a man, you are difficult to understand because you speak through vibration, whereas I speak through piercing words. But you taught me that I can connect those words to my heart and I can speak my heart in a direct way, which is just different to the feminine. Feminine goes round and round, and the masculine goes through, like the caduceus. And this is the true healing of divine union. And you've been teaching me this. And I've watched you have everything taken from you. And just when you thought you'd lost enough, you had even more taken from you. And I made sure I was there for you this time. And it was terrifying and horrible to see you so torn open and so wounded. And then to realize that you chose that path because that's how brave you are. And you are so incredibly well connected to your awareness that I sometimes rely on you so much that I don't develop the strength of my own awareness. And that's very challenging to admit and also very challenging to find a way to improve on that because I have my own gifts. But since we made our launch into life when we left home the old way recently, when we did that, you finally got your chance because you knew what was coming, and you've been preparing for this day for a long time,
Mm.
whereas I didn't have a fucking clue. So I feel unprepared, even though I took actions to be prepared. I have not been emotionally prepared, only physically, not even physically in my body, but like, I got the equipment,
Mm.
I got the manifested
Mm.
physical stuff to make my dreams come true, but emotionally, I haven't been able to come to them
Mm.
because of these invisible, hidden emotions that I'm finding difficult to feel. So I'm at an impasse when I see you like this because I've actually never seen you like this. I've never seen you like this. So I know that you're really deeply hurt by what has happened today because how many times does a man have to be woken up in order to wake up and see what he has right in front of him?
Mm.
Because a man like me who's been through so much suffering, I asked myself one time how much, you know, is there a limit to how much I can suffer? And there wasn't. So when is it enough for a man to suffer before he takes his own life, right? And how does a man then choose life over death?
How much can a man experience joy in coming to life?
But this is the thing, right? You speak about joy,
Mm.
but how how would this be? How would would this conversation be perceived as joyful?
It's probably way too deep for most people. Switch off.
That's not my point. That's not my point. My point is, you're asking me to be joyful,
Mm.
but you're being deep.
Mm. Yeah.
So how can I be myself
Yeah.
if you want to be deep?
Mm.
How can I be myself as you know me, jovial, funny,
Mm.
making you laugh so that you can be yourself?
Mm.
Because I can't match you in that arena. I can't match you in the arena of, well, I'm trying my best. Hopefully one day I will be able to. But to match you in the deep feeling, you're so fast at it. But I'm so fast at the thinking, and you can't match me on that.
We need to meet in the heart.
Exactly, which is
Mm.
what we've been talking about, right?
Mm. Yeah. I
So,
think we do a good job at doing
of course we do, but that's not the point. We're trying to get to the conclusion of separation.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
So, what is it that you need that I can actually give? Because this conversation is saying to me that there's something I haven't given to myself yet,
Mm.
and that's why I can't show up.
Mm. So what comes up for me is the gift of creation. Because when I show up like this, it's okay, let's create. Mm.
Yeah, and I get an energy of anger. I'm not sure why.
Mm. I think this is linked to like what you were saying about growing up, like in the most respectful way, because we've done such an extensive amount of work with the inner child, and you come to meet the inner child, you come to embody the inner child, and you have to synergize to such an extent with that wounded inner child. Some parts have to be let go, some parts you bring with you. We've worked through all of that in terms of working through that, and then you take the initiatory journey of bringing that back to life, like really truly parenting yourself and saying, okay, I couldn't make those dreams come true before because of blah blah blah, and now I'm going to make the dreams come true. And I know that's really hard. It's really hard. And it's particularly hard with these collective energies right now that are literally breaking apart, falling apart, destroying left, right, and center. And um, the energy of creation can be birthed through destruction. It's not destruction or creation. It's literally the energy of creation is I'm going to create through destruction. You cannot destroy me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will create, I will rise.
But,
And that is bringing the healed, wounded child back into life again and saying, yeah, I show up too. I fight for love.
but have I or have I not been creating?
Yeah, yeah, you have.
So what is the missing ingredient?
I don't know yet. We're still in that investigation.
Well, I think it's fun, and this is what I've been saying, right?
Mm.
And what's yours?
Yeah, I need more lightheartedness. I've been working on reclaiming my sense of humor. It's like, where has my sense of humor gone?
Right, okay.
And
Let's ask the question then. Where is the fun?
well, in a way, this is fun showing up.
Yeah, but you've seen what real fun is. You've seen true ecstasy,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I'll take the journey to discover that. It's coming out of me bit by bit. You can see that. Like
But I'm not talking about
I'm
you.
funnier
I'm
than
not
I used
talking
to
about
be.
you. Yeah, you are. You're the funniest woman on earth. I mean, I literally died when you made me laugh through divine ecstasy. Anyway, I'm not talking about you. This isn't personal.
Hmm.
I'm talking this conversation started with the pain you were feeling, which was mirroring our first video,
Hmm.
but as the feminine, and it was coinciding with these toxic energies of separation.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to get to the bottom, or the heart,
Hmm.
trying to get to the heart of this energy.
Hmm. Okay, right. So what I perceive,
Collaboration.
yeah, and what I perceive in us birthing and coming up and showing up again for our prophecy walkers, for our joint collaboration, which is what this project is parts of us are dying. It's everything is an evolutionary journey, and parts of us are dying in order to come here, sit at the table, put the camera on, put the mic there, and
Right.
show up.
So this is what I told you would happen. This is catharsis.
Yeah.
So us being on Prophecy Walkers, us creating Prophecy Walkers, when we're coming on here, this is what I have created. This is the lion's share.
Mm.
The lion's share is a process of sharing your soul to kill your ego. And you can only do that by sharing from the heart. So what you're witnessing, what I'm witnessing, what you're witnessing, what we're all witnessing is the parts of our ego that need to be expressed because of experienced pain, your finger,
Mm.
and me, the collective
Mm.
energies, in order to transform and transmute so that I can create my
Mm.
dreams
Yeah.
and that you can feel that I'm here and that you're seen.
Yeah. And actually, like it's like what you would call my ring finger, and it's like really healing all of the not being supported,
Right.
not being
Yeah.
supported in making the creations come true. And it's like the cut of
The energy of divorce.
yeah, and really embodying that energy of divorcing uh the toxic masculinity in my life, which will not support me in making my dreams come true and delivering my heart, delivering my gift through my art,
Mm.
through my voice to
Welcome.
share.
Yeah. Thank you for
And
sharing.
it's painful, but I'm
Mm.
really relieved to be able to let that go.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here for me
It's the
so
least I
that I
can
can
do.
heal these wounds.
Mm. It's the least I can do for you.
Oh, it's been such a crazy journey to get to the point where I can feel healed. You've helped me. You talk about going slow, but you've moved me fast. You've helped me heal fast.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've given you a leg up
Yeah.
over the wall
Yeah.
and I've had to climb up myself. That's why I'm a bit behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get past the veil,
Mm.
to see the truth, which is what everybody's trying to do. But you can
Mm.
only do it by being a gentleman. Ladies first.
Oh, oof. Mm, thank you.
You know who?
Mm, so,
Hmm.
wow.
Namaste.
Namaste. Wow, everything we create, everything we create is a beautiful ceremony of life. And
I told you that the lion's share would be the answer.
yeah, yeah. Wow. So I'm going to dare to look at the camera again. Um, I would like to say that I have the honor of working in this way with a man who is embodying the way of how a man should turn up in life. And you've done an extensive amount of inner work. And I love and honor you so deeply.
Hmm.
And it's time to have fun because the past is no more. And I think this is one of the messages of letting go. And we weave this into this season that's happening from the great exposure that's been happening through summertime, July, August, and all the challenges that brings. We're coming into September, October, November, this descent into the underworld. But let us carry the light with us, the light of all the teachings that we have so far, the light of love that we are, and release, learn through this communication, learn to really walk the talk of doing the spiritual path in the most grounded, real way, and help each other through that bridge of our hearts to let go of the frustrations, the judgments, everything that has not served us, everything that has created a life of suffering, to let that go. And through that, we come together again. I think that's what is available in this time of letting go.
Yeah.
That we let go, but we come together more deeply.
Yeah. And part of that is understanding and letting go of triggers, understanding that triggers are really helpful and triggers hurt because they're like an elastic band. And we're normally firing that elastic band at someone else. And sometimes we let it go and we forget to let go. And it hits ourselves because we are the elastic band, because we're being stretched to allow more light in, stretched to up high and down deep in all directions, because there's a global ascension and we're allowing more love in, more light. And I could easily be triggered, and I was triggered, but I felt and let it pass through me. But triggers triggers are there to remind us of the truth that we're avoiding. So if you find yourself triggered by anything in this video, ask yourself why. Why does it hurt so much? Why do you want to throw it back? Why do you want to be a shit slinger?
Yeah,
It's really important to understand that triggers are really important, really powerful
yeah.
when you own them and take responsibility for them.
Mm.
And we understand the power of triggers, that they lead you on your own path of truth. So we will and are going to trigger the Jeffrey out of you.
Yeah.
So be prepared to have a pillow to punch or scream into. But please don't scream at the screen because I don't want to feel your triggers.
Yeah.
Send back to sender with
Mm.
consciousness attached.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Oh wow. This is an autumn September energy report like
For the
nothing.
equinox, when your relationship's going to shit, sit down and talk with some cacao
Yeah.
and a candle.
Yeah, make your life a sacred ceremony. Yeah, beautiful. Should we wrap it up there?
Done.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting our September energy report or autumn equinox report to be quite like this. But this is the truth. This is the raw, real reality of how the collective energies, the ascension energies are working through us and how we can move through that and evolve through that together. So thank you. Love you so much. You're just
Well,
amazing.
thank you for turning up because when she went upstairs after she hurt her finger, and I said, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I said, "I think it's time for you to share." And she came down and she started sharing. I said, "No, no, with the camera on, like I did." And she was like, "Oh." So well done for turning up. Nice one. Yeah,
Ah, right.
that's it. Peace out.
Yeah. Peace in and
Peace in.
th-
Peace in.
yeah. Follow us, subscribe
And
us,
without.
check out the links below, get involved. We look forward to sharing more with you. And until then, enjoy the Ascension journey. It's messy, but it's worth the ride.
Yeah, ciao for now.
Bye.